awesome. I'm sorry.
No, it's
It
not.
was my first time.
No, you're perfectly fine. I only learned because Womom underscore blog tried to call in last time, and I learned it from her. She was like, I was trying to call, nobody could hear me, and then she went into her inbox, and it was just like, confirm, like you have to verify. So then that's how I knew. Make sure to tell people they just should verify in their email. But thank you for calling. So let me, you can introduce yourself, like tell us your name or Instagram, whatever your social media is, and where you are located.
Okay. My name is Julene Flermond. I'm located in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
And my
dang.
Hi. And I heard you came and spoke to us at Jessica's class on Sponsor Society previously,
Exactly.
and so that's how I heard about you. And I love everything you're teaching. And I
Thank you.
guess I guess my question is, I work with a Black podcast network,
Okay.
and one of the things we're looking to do is to do year long sponsorship deals with brands. And I was wondering if you have tips as to like how to approach brands for deliverables and what's the best way to approach brands for like a year long deal.
Okay, good question. Let me get a little background. Um, what is like the, I guess, what industry are y'all in? Or like, what do you talk about? Like, what's kind of the niche?
We have like 25 different podcasters in different niches. Some are
Oh, I see.
entrepreneurs. Yeah, some are like women on empowerment, HBCUs. Um, yeah.
And so what y'all are trying to do is get brands to sponsor some of those posts, like maybe like commercials throughout them, like some of the podcasts. Is that what it's going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it, got
Yeah.
it, got it. And you say a year long. Why year long? Where does that come from?
I guess like an ongoing sponsorship
Got
deal.
it. Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't know what the reason was, just in case to have background on it. But yeah, no, I think that makes sense, and that's like what a lot of podcasters try to do. So I think that makes sense for y'all, just generally to try to get that for like as an incentive, I guess, for like your people to join you with the podcast. My thoughts on that is, and it's kind of, I like this question because it ties into what I was talking about here, and why I asked about the 12 months is that a lot of times what brands want to do is kind of get a feelers out of it, like get like a trial run out of it. So when you initially approach a brand and you're like, the first time working with them, if they hear 12 months, that might like scare them away in your pitch. Unless like there's like some very specific reason for that 12 months that's like in your idea that you're pitching to them. But I wouldn't necessarily lead with the 12-month pitch. Like if it's profitable to them or if it's good for them, then they're going to want to continue to do it for a longer time. Maybe you don't allow them to just do like one-off commercial or a one-off blurb or something like that, because it doesn't really work well for you, and that's not how like people are unlikely going to, they need to hear it maybe multiple times to be able to actually like buy it and for it to like actually benefit the brand. So maybe you have like little packages. But like I think especially initially what will really help is if you come to the table with some sort of idea, especially if it's like, really looking into like if you're looking at specific, you can go about it two ways. Some people have like specific pitches like for each brand, but if you're coming like maybe you're doing like a health and wellness segment on take like an idea for like people to take 30 minutes and to take care of themselves or something like that. And so you're doing this 3 month long health and wellness segment, and each of them you're going to have like a fact or an idea of how you can take care of yourself, and like you're looking for brands to help with that. Like you see how it like then that's how like where the 3 months is coming from or the longer term is coming from, and then maybe from there they just kind of generally like that goes well. Maybe they get a lot of purchases or just a lot of, I'm not sure necessarily in podcasts how you actually track. Maybe it is like a link of some sort, how you track like people actually engaging with it. But maybe, I mean, you might be able to tell me if you have experience with it, how brands do track like podcasts. Because like, with Instagram, you can click a link and then you can give them click throughs, or like they give you like the like hashtag and then the podcast name. That may be how they do for podcasts too. If they're like, purchase this and get 10% and use like this podcast name. I'm not sure if you have insight on that, but that's what I would kind of say for that. Have you experienced that before?
Um, I'm not like a total expert at it, but I know some brands do offer like their discount codes,
Right.
and maybe they track to see who purchased with the discount code, and also like sometimes via downloads of the
Exactly.
podcast.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So exactly. So like once they see that in like the what 1 month trial round and stuff like that in your pitch idea, then that's how like these bigger, larger deals come from. But a lot of times it's like in what I wanted to make sure to emphasize here is that like whenever you do like kind of have that smaller pitch idea because it's easier to swallow, smaller, whatever price, like whatever, it's like a 1 month thing that you're doing, and maybe that's what they like more in the 1 month. Make sure like that you're ready to like bring it to the table on that, like you are ready, like you have a plan put together of like this is how we're going to make sure this brand deal does well so that they come back like later on, because especially when they're paying you, like if they're paying you thousands of dollars, like they are doing that because they expect something in return. It's not necessarily your job to like if their product, like it's not like you didn't create the product, you can only do so much. You didn't price it, you can only do so much. But like whether it's like clicks, like whether you're like making sure to like really push the marketing of the podcast so that like people are actually coming to listen in, making sure the viewers number stays like about the same, doesn't drop, like those little things like that can really strengthen like the partnership so that they see the numbers are strong, and then they come back for more. Because a lot of times, especially when you're starting out, those initial deals are smaller deals, and it's like it's a kind of a trial there. And so when you really like bring it to the table on that trial round, then they come back for more, and then you at least like the next time maybe it's like you did 1 month, the next time it's 3 months. They are like they want to extend and try to do a 6 months, and then all of a sudden now you're on like an annual basis. But it's hard to just start off there as like, unless you're already like your numbers are a lot bigger, and it's just kind of you're established in this, and you're just kind of trying to bring on like more, and like you have numbers to back it up. But if you're just kind of in the initial phases of it, that's kind of how I would look to it in like how I'm pitching and how I'm trying to negotiate this deal. It's like, okay, we'll give you like 1 month of this, like, in, I don't know, in each, like this podcast, each podcast you'll get like for 1 month, you'll get a weekly 30-second, blurb about like your brand or something of that sort.
yeah, that makes definitely makes sense. I like that idea.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Does that answer your question?
It does
Okay.
actually.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions?
No, that was my basic question, was if you had any ideas about that.
Yeah, I think like
But
keep me updated. Let me know how it goes for y'all, because that I know like the podcast world definitely wants. I know a lot of times I see with podcasts they do like a mix of like the affiliate link stuff too. So not necessarily just deals, but also in addition to that affiliate links. But I think the goal is usually to get like the sponsored each session or whatever, each thing sponsored, so it's actually like paid for versus having to like push the links for people to buy.
yeah,
So it makes,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. But as you do it, make sure, and if they do give you those links, like affiliate links or whatever, in addition to your like the promotional, the paid like promotions, make sure you even try to follow up and like ask questions about, oh, how did my link do and stuff, because like it's good if they did, especially if they did well, then it's good to have like those numbers. They don't have to necessarily give that to you. Some people like may put that in their contract, but like that's really their data and information. But it would be good for you to know, because then like the next time you pitch someone, you can say like, last month we did our monthly whatever thing, for and like a few of the brands were able to get like X amount of sales or something like that, and it just kind of helps you each time you're negotiating. And like if they're like, why should we pay you this? Like, you're like, well, this is why I charge this much, because people actually purchase from our campaigns or our like commercials or segments or whatever.
Yeah, just showing like social proof in a way.
Exactly, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Let me know if anything else comes up. If you have other questions.